So another reason why I didn't take much pictures last summer, especially August, is because of this. Here, I don't know if you guys can see, let me put you down. I have a few broken spokes on my e-bike, like this spoke is broken, you have another one broken, I think I have 3 or 4 spokes broken, and I cannot find any bicycle repair shop that wants to deal with it. So I'm stuck with a bicycle I cannot use for the moment, and this is a minor reason, but still another reason why I didn't shoot much last summer. It is a beautiful day outside, but I have a lumbago, so I cannot ride my bike and cannot really walk. I'm stuck at home. So I'm gonna start this month with a wrap-up or a look back at what I did September. So today is October 1st, and September I did only 2 videos, and I went out for street photography only twice, so not much. But again, I was busy working, and many different things prevented me from going out, and now my health doesn't allow me to go out, even though this is the best season of the year. It's still a little hot, but I mean the weather is beautiful, it's not humid, and yeah, just the perfect season. Fall is the perfect season to go out and shoot, and I'm stuck at home. So here is a little recap. So I took 112 pictures in September, and I divided them into different categories just to have an idea of what kind of photographs I took. So some of them are detail shots, some of them are lights, some of them are motions. I like now to introduce motion pictures. I mean, not movies, but pictures with motion at slow shutter speed in my body of work. I think alongside with still, like perfectly frozen shots, I think it adds some dynamism and some interest, because now I try to think as the whole thing and not just picture by picture. I took some perspectives, some scenes, which I'm not really good at. For example, using the 24mm the other night. I'm not really good at scenes because I like to focus on one subject, and looking at the scene, if there is not a strong point and I'm just looking at the whole thing, I'm not really sure what to look at, but I have to work on my scene pictures. I took some silhouettes, and I took some subjects and other kind of things, but these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 categories, main categories I took last month. And later on, I'm gonna tell you about my favorites as well. So let's have a look at details. So here, a few of them, didn't put them all in the file, but just a few to give you an idea. So I really like this shot because it really feels retro because of the subject, the colors, the design of these, I don't know, kind of round cards or stuff. I guess that was a game back in the days, and it looks cool. I wish I could have some of them. Here, the hand of the lady with the long nails, and of course the chopsticks are the detail and the main subject in the frame. And again, it's also framed by the window. Here, very random detail, a bunch of plastic flowers in the street, just like that. I also like the lights in the backdrop. And here, a few Japanese whiskey bottles, green on one side, yellow on the other. So just a few detail shots. Again, here, a pot of probably tea on the counter of the kitchen. And I took that picture because looking through the window, I couldn't see no customers, but as well no cook. So nobody in that scene. It was entirely empty. So I took that shot just to represent the emptiness. Although because it's shot at 50, it's quite cropped and we cannot see the whole scene. But just in my head, I know that. Here, just a few details. Then lights. Of course, when you go out and shoot at night, light is something you look for, and that's going to be probably your main subject. So I really like the fact that we can see the silhouettes of the leaves and the red rectangle with the Japanese lettering in white. It's kind of cool to me. Here, a moody shot. Here again, the same idea with purple color, purple pink color in the window and the leaves silhouettes. Over there, just a building with interesting lights there. I really wonder what's that. Anyway, here again, of course, lanterns. That's something you're gonna shoot when you're in Japan. Temple lights as well. Building lights or street lights. This one was purple, my favorite color, so I had to take the shot. Restaurant lights, street signs. And this one in particular is also one that I quite like, because again, we have the very neat silhouettes or shadows of the leaves and the plant in the foreground. And then we have this soft but also popping green light in the background and the white Japanese lettering. It's kind of mesmerizing to me. Here again, working with juxtapositions and color contrasts, blue, yellow, red, again street sign, reflection of the light on the wall there. Here I really like all the colors. I think they pop really nicely. So we have again some yellow, some red and some blue over there. So yeah, just a few examples of lights here. But we have motion. Just as I said, I like to include motions now in my work. Bus and cars passing by, people in front of advertisements. This is one of my favorite shots of last month. I don't know exactly what it is about, but I just like the vibe of this picture. First, the fact that this is a temple, so we can see here the temple roof, so it brings an element of culture and history and old time, as well as the wood, adding simple and natural design of Japanese architecture. Of course, the light enabling me to take the picture, and this spinning motion adds dynamism and I don't know if it's mystery, but something strange and mesmerizing in my point of view to the picture. So this is one of my favorite from last month. Again here, same technique, spinning the camera. I thought it worked with that font, which is already quite dynamic, and of course the face of the manga figure and the fact that we can still see his eye and the hair here. I think the poster itself was already quite dynamic, but adding this motion added on top of that, in my point of view. And this here is a happy accident, you might say, because it was not intentional. But at first I thought I will delete that picture, but then when I started to edit, I thought I really like the color, the way they go up, like almost like fireworks or something. And again, here it's just like panning the camera. It's more like abstract. What else do we have? So motions, and then we have perspectives. So let's see. So here the silhouette of the subject led by the ramp here and the stairs and the city lights and traffic as a backdrop. So on this one, I think I didn't share in the video and not yet on Instagram neither maybe, but I like the continuity between the stairs and the sky over there. You see, they create this pattern there. And also the fact that the bottom of the frame is lit with a white light when the top of the frame is lit with a pinkish orangish light. So I like the contrast between the two. And I also like the hanging clothes here and there. Here again, perspectives. And again, perspective and subject, lights, guidelines, that kind of thing. Next up, so scenes. Okay, so as I said, I'm not really good with scenes as a viewer, even before as a photographer. When I see a scene, if there is not a strong point to anchor my look, my gaze, I don't know what I'm looking at. Yeah, I can, look here and there, and maybe that's the point of the scene, to just roam around with your gaze, look around. But to add interest, I shot it at a slow shutter speed to make the people passing by a little blur and to emphasize the fact that there is motion, they are walking across the street, there is something going on. So that's the point of this picture. Here, just a simple scene, and what triggered me to take the picture is the color here reflecting on the ground as well, and mainly this guy, the guardman, letting the car go through. Here some salaryman, very Japanesey of course, guideline here, light reflecting on a secondary subject here in pink. And this is a good example of me not really knowing what I'm doing, because I try to take scene shooting at 24mm in this case, but I really don't know what I'm looking for. What is the anchor point of the picture? I guess you could say the anchor point is the bus, but it kind of blends with the building in the background. And yeah, just like maybe there are some guidelines leading down to the bus, but this is really not a strong composition at all. And this is really showing me that I have to work harder on scenes. This one is already better, but this is a blend between scene because it's wider and subject and maybe light as well here. So this is a blend of different things. Honestly, it's more like a subject picture than a scene picture, but because it adds a little more context with everything going around the restaurant, we understand. Of course, the subject is a cook. It's perfectly understandable, but you can see the kitchen around. So I count it as a scene picture, but it's between scene and subject. So maybe this one is kind of okay to me. And this is maybe a better example. Yes, you have a subject here, but I'm not sure if it's the anchor point of the picture. First of all, because there is much happening here with the mess over here and a secondary subject. And also because of the blue awning here being in a popping color. I think it grabs your look, and also it creates a guideline, some kind of. I mean, the street itself is a perspective shot as well, but I think this one works a little bit better, in my opinion, than the bus one. And among the scene shot that I took, this one is my favorite. It's not one of my favorite picture of September, but this is one of my favorite picture in the scene category. Of course, I like the awning. Here is red, and on the other side is more orangish because of the street light there. I like the grid pattern on the doors and windows. I like the contrast between red and the blue reflection of the light on the ground. And you also have a subject passing by and a lantern there. So yeah, this is more what I'm used to do, and this is a better, interesting scene in my point of view. It's more exotic for a Westerner looking at this kind of scene. Next, what do we have? Silhouettes, not a lot. Alright, silhouette here, backlit by the sign. Again, same thing. Here, this is probably my favorite of the silhouette category. It's not one of my favorite shots, but again, just in that particular category. So I was fishing this time, waiting in front of this grid pattern window, and I was waiting for a subject to pass by, and that lady passed by with the bicycle, which is very typical in Japan. People are going around by bicycle. It's very typical. Another example. This one is also interesting. We have clothes hanging at the entrance of this place, but what's more interesting is the pattern of the glass, you know, reflecting the light and adding this kind of texture. I think this is what tricked me to take the picture. So silhouettes, then subjects. I think I'm a little bit stronger as a photographer at taking subjects rather than scenes. So here what's interesting is, of course, the guy giving me a peace sign and his reflection in the window there. So it's kind of a mirroring, and you have a guideline on the ground. Here, same thing. I was waiting for somebody wearing white clothes because I thought the scene was too busy with the different colors, which didn't add anything to the picture. So I wanted to turn it black and white. So I needed somebody to contrast with the background and to really reflect on the window. That's why I shot this particular gentleman. White pants, white shoes, white shirt. This one is between subject and scene again, because just like the cook before, this time it's customer waiting for his order to arrive. But because I shot it at 24mm, you have more of the surroundings around the subject. So it's between subject and scene. This works better in my point of view because I know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a customer waiting in a restaurant, and I know it's a restaurant because of the surrounding that I can see clearly. Here, obviously, it's a subject. So the little anecdote here is that this waiter is a waiter working in the restaurant. We can see on the side there, and he was taking his break and eating, and he saw me coming. So he said, "Hey, come in my restaurant. The food is really good." So I asked, "Are you enjoying your food?" And while asking, I raised my camera and shot. So he was a little surprised, but his reaction was positive. He just laughed and said to his coworker, "Hey, he took a picture of me." So if he was not happy with the picture, I would not have kept it, but his reaction was good, and he has a smiling face, you can tell. So I kept the picture. Again, here another subject, somebody on the phone on his scooter. We can clearly see the face through the reflection of the light on this plastic sheet. It's a little bit like a Nike sign here, the swoosh. So the reason why I took this picture is because I think you have two different versions. Here you have the bars there framing the subject. I kind of like this one too. So the reason why I took that shot is because the subject is wearing black shoes, black pants, black top, black hat, black gloves, carrying a black bag. Therefore, the subject contrasts with its surrounding, which is full of color like blue, yellow, red, light, also acting as guidelines down there, directing to the subject. So yeah, that's the reason why I took that shot. And then here is one of my favorite photos of September 2025. I have two versions of the same picture with the fish being a different place, and also this other cook on the other picture is not there. But again, you have all those people. On the other shot, the lady here is also looking at me, but on this shot, she's not. So at least you have all those people looking at us with their incredulous face, like wondering what's happening, what is that guy doing over there. And because of the layer of the fish tank, adding this greenish and this blurry effect on top of the scene, I think it works really good. Emotion and layering, I really like that shot. And yeah, moving on to my favorites. So, slow shutter speed, handheld. I really like the way the silhouettes turned out. Here you can really see the dynamism, the motion. Here also that lady, including that one too, and this gentleman there. They create the guidelines, the direction, looking inward and at the center of the picture. So yeah, I think the composition, I mean, I was lucky. I took a bunch of pictures, but this is the one I chose because of the way the silhouettes are. They're really guiding inward and at the center of the picture, and they really create that dynamism I wanted in my frame. So this is one of my favorite. Here, different technique, just perfectly frozen, but one subject, which I usually prefer. Guidelines here with the rail, framings, multiple framings, and everything is, except for the subject, everything is uniform. Of course, black and white, but also very straight, symmetrical, so very artificial, and just the man stands out even more because of that. And this picture here, I don't know what is it about exactly, but I feel empathy towards the plant. The plant is the main subject, and the fact that it's half hidden by the sign there. First of all, the lights are interesting. The fact that we see here Japanese letter, the fact that we see here the door, Japanese style. We really know it's taken in Japan, and you feel that Japanese vibe, a little bit retro as well. But yeah, this plant being illuminated by the street sign here and being half hidden, I don't know, it becomes a subject to me. And even though it's not a human subject, I don't know, I feel this is the subject, and I feel empathy, or I feel a connection. Empathy, maybe it's not the right word, but I feel a connection to the plant myself. I don't know if it's the same for you looking at that picture, but that's what I feel, and that's why I took the shot. And again, that's the same picture we discussed earlier, so just the fish are a different place. This lady is looking at us, the other cook is not looking at us. And finally, here we have this picture that I also like because it reminds me of oil painting, or at least in a comic way, because you have the window of the restaurant covered by oil, actual oil, and creating this blurred foreground and making the scene not easily understandable. Although you have the subject, the cook here, who saw me taking the picture and just made that face. So I think it's comical. It shows how friendly and chill are people in Osaka. And yeah, it's reminding me of oil paint. Yeah, this is another one of my favorite pictures. And that's it, guys. Very quick video. I don't know if it's quick, but quickly made. I just put the Insta360 because I cannot go out, I cannot shoot, so it's not gonna be one of my usual street photography session video. It's just me sitting at my desk, wishing to be able to enjoy this beautiful weather. So I hope that on your side, you can enjoy the season. I hope you can grab your camera, take a few pictures, and I'm really looking to see what October has to offer to me once my back is fixed, hopefully soon. Thank you again for watching. Tell me in the comment section which one is your favorite pictures, how many pictures you take a month. For me, this time only 112. Are you somebody who shoots a lot or just a few? Do you focus on quantity or do you focus on quality? And until next time, you know what to do. Enjoy the ride and spread the love.